Hi, this is Dr. James Hutcherson, and I'll be teaching this course this semester for Bio 169 A0L1, and this is Anatomy and Physiology 2. And I'm going to go through the syllabus a little bit and then talk a little bit about the setup of your Moodle course. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on that. This will take about 12-13 minutes generally. Okay, top of the syllabus and start reading down. One of the first things important here is that you need to do the census enrollment before January 21st, and I'll show you what that is when we get into the Moodle course. Okay, here's my contact information. Okay, email is probably the best way to get in touch with me, but you can message me through Moodle, and I always get back within 24 hours, usually less than 8 hours. Okay, I don't have specific office hours, so if you ever want to meet with me, and you can meet with me through the link online, it's a part of a program called Collaborate. If you want to meet with me face-to-face, we can do that through that Collaborate program. Or I can always give you a phone number or something, and we can always talk that way if you need to. Okay, let's look at the description of 169. Continuation of comprehensive study of anatomy and physiology of the human body. We'll talk about the endocrine, cardiovascular, lymphatic, respiratory, digestive, urinary, and reproductive systems, along with metabolism, nutrition, acid-base balance, and fluid and electrolyte balance. Okay. Now, I'm not going to read through every little thing on here. I'll rely on you to actually go through those details. Required materials, you do have to purchase a lab kit, which you can get through the bookstore, or you actually can buy directly yourself if you want to. It's a self-pay option, so keep that in mind. You need to do this very first week because you will have something due quite quickly. Okay, and again, I'm going to skip some of this. Academic honesty is very important in this course. Avoid plagiarism. You're only to use your own knowledge when it comes to exams. Now, with a lot of the material, though, in here, like in the labs and discussion forums, you are allowed to use whatever resources you want, but still put those things in your own words. Okay, if you ever have trouble with the password, you need a reset, here's some links for that. And I would suggest printing out this syllabus because if for some reason you lose your password, you won't be able to get in even to see this, right? Okay, there's a help desk if you ever have trouble using Moodle or just in general with your course. So you can always contact the help desk there. Okay, you do have your own student email. If you have disabilities, you should get in touch with the disabilities office, and this QR code will get you to them, and do get whatever accommodations you should get for certain disabilities, and they'll let me know. We do have academic support services and free tutoring, both on campus but also online, and it is online for free online live tutoring sessions. So I would tell you, go ahead and start doing that immediately with each chapter. Don't wait till you don't do well on an exam or something. Go ahead and start from the beginning. Okay, student support services. Here are QR codes for many different departments based on what your needs might be. So please make use of those if you need. Inclement weather, not as big a deal for us since this is online, but occasionally something will come up. So we will deal with that as it happens. Okay, do keep in mind there will be a last withdrawal date in this course. That means the last date by which you can get a withdrawal or W without actually getting a grade. Okay, and as you can see down here, it has those listed, March 4th, 2026. Okay, grade distribution in this class, we're on a 10-point scale. Lecture exams are 50%, chapter assessments, which is just a weekly little quiz, and you can use whatever resources you want, 5%. Discussion forums, 5%. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And then lab assignments, they're 30%. We divide that between the lab exercises from Carolina Science, and that's 15%, and then midterm and final exam that are 15%. And finally, a comprehensive final exam, basically lecture, that's 10%. The online attendance, be very careful. I can withdraw you from the course, or I say can, I am actually made to withdraw you if you exceed 20% of the scheduled contact hours. And do keep in mind, this course is basically 6 hours per week. Okay, enrollment verification quiz, make sure you do that very first thing or you won't be able to see any of the other modules in the Moodle course. Okay, late work may be penalized. And then we get to the important schedule. And this schedule is pretty detailed. It tells you what to do each week and what is due and when it's due. So the first week is pretty wide open, just getting the things you need in the lab kit and enrollment verification and going over syllabus and then doing an introduce yourself forum. And then we get to module 2 where we start the endocrine system, chapter 18. You'll have a quiz and a discussion forum and then the laboratory work. Okay, and again, I'll show you more about the discussion forum in a minute. Module 3, we go to chapter 19, then you'll have a quiz, discussion forum, and again, a laboratory. And then you'll have your first exam, which will be February the 2nd, exam 1. It'll be on a Monday. Now, most of your work is going to be due on Fridays. And I'll always send out an announcement on Fridays reminding you. Okay, and from this point on, everything's pretty much the same. You read another chapter, have a quiz, do a forum, and a lab each week until you get to the next exam. We do have a spring break in here from March 9th through the 13th. And then you'll have at some point the midterm lab exam, March 30th. It'll be on a Monday. And again, on and on and on until you get to the final at the very end. And these are going to be due on a Monday, 11th by 5 p.m. You'll have a final lab exam and a final lecture exam. So you might want to get some of those done earlier than later. All right, and that's the syllabus kind of in a nutshell. Again, if I were you, I would read through it in more detail. So make sure you do that. Don't just rely on me to go through that. Okay, let's look at the actual Moodle course. Okay, so you'll start at the very top, work your way down. Obviously, you've already started at the top or you wouldn't be watching this presentation. But here is the contact information for me. Announcements, this is where I will post something each week, but you should get these in your email as well. If you ever have questions and concerns that you think other students can benefit from, go ahead and ask the question in there or make your statement. This is the link if you want to meet with me live with the online camera, or you can just do audio if you want with me. Then you get to module 1 down here where you've got some work to do. This is where the syllabus is. Obviously, you're watching the introduction. This tells you how to order the lab kit. Usually you would get it through the bookstore, but you can purchase it yourself individually without going through the bookstore. Some supplemental resources here. One that tells you how to use Moodle and the academic support available to you. The free online tutoring link is here as well. And then a couple of documents that may be useful to you on how to study and scientific study tips. And then this is the enrollment verification quiz. And you have to take this quiz before you can see any of the other modules in this course. And then do go in and introduce yourself to me so I can find out a little bit about you, and so can other students. Okay, and then the real work starts with module. So you have learning objectives, and you can use these learning objectives to study by for your exams. So be a good guide for you. Then there's basic instructions, the reading and viewing assignments. So you'll see a PowerPoint, you'll see my presentation, and then often some other materials that will help you with this particular section, like a hormones table and function. And then lots of videos here that are supplemental and flashcards. And then you get to the actual assignments, like the discussion forum, a quiz, and then the materials for you to do the lab and the links to those labs. And when you go into those links through Carolina Science, it will take you through some information. You'll take a little quiz there, which you have to do, and I'll see your grade for that little quiz. And then it'll give you a document that you can save, and then you can answer questions about the lab. So it'll tell you what to do with the lab kit that you have. And then you'll answer questions in the document. You'll save that document, and you'll upload it to me in these submission folders, as you see here. Again, each week is pretty similar from that point on. Learning objectives, instructions, reading and viewing assignments, the graded assignments, like the discussion, quiz, and again the lab, and goes on from there. And then, as I said, every so often you'll have the exam that's there for you. The exam actually, when you start taking it, it counts down. You can't go in and out of it. This is supposed to be closed book, and as a matter of fact, the program will lock you into the program so that you can't use your computer for any other purpose when you're taking the exam. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about discussion forums. Make sure you do these correctly. So each week, you'll be given a case study, and you'll answer some questions about it. So here's the directions. You must answer the questions to the case study in your own post, and then respond to one of your classmates in order to receive full credit for the discussion. Your initial post should be at least 150 words. Use your own words. Remember to include references. If you use a textbook, cite the page numbers. Don't just say to me, the textbook. Give me a full reference. And or you can use a website link that takes me directly to the information that you're using. Do make sure you understand the answer that you're given, because you may use other resources to help you answer it, and you might even use AI, but use your own words as much as possible. Make sure you understand what you're answering. And then you respond to one other student with at least 50 words, and you must add additional information beyond what they post. Don't just say, I like what you just posted, but do what you learn. And I'll let you see a copy of what some of the questions might be. Sometimes they're kind of fun things, and sometimes it really is like a case study of some kind of disorder. And this one looks at vampires and blood, so as you can see, we have a little fun with it sometimes. Okay. And that is pretty much it. If you have any questions, please let me know as soon as possible. As I said, I'm easy to get in contact with, and I'll get back in contact with you pretty quickly whenever you send questions. Please let me know if you ever have any difficulties, you don't understand something. And again, take advantage of any of the resources your school provides. All right. I wish you much success in this course, and good luck to you.